Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is an Algebra I class, and we are studying models of real life situations. Those of you who had me before, you know that our models were graphs. Okay, remember, we did histograms, we did box and whiskers. Okay, so those were models. Well, now we are going a little more mathematical. So we will be studying 3 linear equations, inequalities, and systems of linear equations. Depending on how we move will depend on how far we get. Okay, so linear equations. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, you will need to take some notes, or again, I sent you the slides. You can look at them. All right, so variables.
We good.
Now, all of you have done algebra to some degree. So, anybody remember what's a variable?
A letter.
That
represents something.
Yes. So on the screen, you will see, because we're going to get the vocab out of the way so that as I talk, you will still have a point of reference. So yes, variables are letters used to represent an unknown value. It holds the place of the value that you are going to determine. So translations. You know I love word problems. So as a part of this course, it is I am sorry, I apologize in the beginning, but it is word problem heavy.
Oh my God.
So
I got you.
Translations, you will be changing from word phrases into their math model. And again, remember, math models are just come on, mute your computer. Thank you. Math models are just the catch-all for expressions, equations, and inequalities. So let's look at these. The first one, B more than A. What does it look like if it was in math terms? Convert. Oh, dang, I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so you see.
Hey, I'm tough.
B more than A. So remember, with addition, it doesn't matter which came first, A or B, B or A. For the second one, C less than 7. Somebody tell me what you have.
C minus 7, 7 minus C.
7 minus C?
C minus 7.
You said C minus 7. Anybody disagree?
I disagree.
What you think?
Who disagree?
I just disagree because I'm me.
No, I said constructive. All right, so I have a question.
I ain't even get to work. I literally just woke up.
Well, but you are in the class, so you should see what I see.
I went on my email. I ain't even had no invitation this morning. Like Roger, he sent out an invitation. I
did too.
No, I just remember.
No, Miss Hicks, you waited late to send the invitation. Francois sent her invitation for tomorrow before you did.
Yeah, that joint popped up on my phone while I was walking to my house.
But I sent a reminder last night because that's how Miss Kelsey got it. Because I sent hers with yours. So I don't know. But let's get back to the class. Let's get back. So again, number mute yourself. Thank you.
Hopefully we get a couple more.
Yeah, hey Lisa, so y'all gonna send this joint to us?
Send what?
You already sent it to us.
No, the video, like after we do this class and shit.
I'm gonna upload it.
It's gonna be on Yes Philly YouTube.
Yes.
They got a YouTube page. I'm off.
Yes. All right. Again, let's pull it back because you're gonna be responsible. All right. So
I ain't got time to keep going on Yes Philly stuff every time I turn around.
All right. Listen, Sean. This is the new normal.
All right, well, come on, so we could get
C less than 7. It should. Sean is correct in disagreeing. Remember, it says C less than 7. So It should be 7 takeaway C.
I said both of them.
No, Amira, you have to stick to one, darling.
You know what?
Champ.
The third one, twice D.
Hey, Tasneem, come on, champ.
Come on, mute.
Unless you are in this joint.
Twice D. What does it look like?
2D.
Thank you.
Miss Hicks was trying to tell you my eyes is halfway open, so like.
All right, just listen, darling.
Just can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Yo, so what's up with my why I got 2 biology classes? I
don't know. That's a Miss Lisa question.
I got 2 English classes, so
I can't get in touch with her. They tell me she in Ohio and all that.
All right, hold tight. You hold your thought. We'll talk after because this is being recorded.
All right.
So number 4, the quotient of 12 and 6. Mute. You know that the quotient means that you are dividing.
That's 12 divided by 6.
Absolutely. And the last one, 8 is less than W. What does that look like?
8 subtract W.
Anybody disagree?
It's 8 with the little sign pointing towards the W.
Exactly. Sean, the difference is in number 2 and number 5, the word
is greater than W.
is. Exactly. So you should have, come on, get out of the way. So you should have, sorry.
Well, you got your lesson plan planned.
Okay. I do. I try to be efficient, good brother. All right, let me get back.
I put the dope on ice.
Okay, so now the answers are there. So the last one, again, the difference between 2 and 5 is the word is. So 1 for number 2, it implied subtraction. But once you put is there, it becomes an inequality. Remember, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to.
Right.
All right, so I sent you all a document. It's called A Main Dish and Some Side Dishes. It is the warm-up. So I need you to open another screen.
What is a recipe?
No.
What is a recipe?
No. All right, so it should.
No.
Hey, where is that?
It's on Summit?
I sent it to you in an email. I don't know that you can see it on Summit.
All my classes on Summit.
All right, you can see my screen, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what it should look like.
You said you sent it to our email?
Yes, I sent it to you all last night.
The worksheets?
Yes.
Which one? Never mind.
Activity 1. Okay, you should see it. You should see it. If you are looking at your camera, you should see it because I have it up on my screen.
It's called a main, right?
A main dish and some side dishes. Is everybody there?
Yeah.
This one not popping.
No,
right.
I'm
All right, so
I got it, but it's not popping up.
Okay, so
on my side.
Okay, so so that we don't waste time, just look at the screen because I have it up also.
It's activity 2, right?
Activity 1, darling.
1.
Yes.
Right.
If you can open it, it says activity 1, a main dish and some side dishes.
Right. Hold on. I'll be there.
Mine's not on my Summit. Mine's in my Gmail though.
Yes, that's where I sent. You know, we communicate with you all through your Yes Philly accounts, and your Yes Philly accounts are attached to Gmail. So again, that's okay. If you can't pull it up, that is fine. Just look at the screen because we are going to have a class discussion because it should have been partners. So here are some letters and what they represent. All costs are in dollars.
Why they keep shooting me out the air?
Shh. Hey, Amir,
My
stop
fault.
playing. You playing yourself. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You got a zoo over here?
All right, so mute yourselves. Thank you. All right, so here, M represents M represents the cost of a main dish. N represents the number of side dishes. S represents the cost of a side dish. And T represents the total cost of a meal. So, in number 1, we are going to discuss as a class, what does each equation mean in this situation? So for A, M equals 750. What does that mean?
M equals 750.
750 is the total of the dish.
Huh? Look at.
You say M represents the cost of the main dish?
Yes, thank you. Come on. That's right. So the main
M
dish
represents
costs
the
750.
cost of the main dish. I just said that.
Don't be playing.
Miss, you trying to make it seem like I'm slow or something?
No. I'm just saying use the information and it's there. You went general, they want specific. Because they gave you a specific number. I'm not trying to be hard. Okay? Because again, you are going to use this as we move through the course or this train of thought. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so step B. What does that mean?
The main dish.
It means that S
That's the side dish, right?
side dish equal to $3.
Say it again.
The side dishes is equal to $3.
All right, that's one. Anybody else get something up?
The M represents the cost of the main dish and S represents the cost of the side.
Okay, and so what does the equation mean?
But it say plus 4.
The equation is
4.50.
the cost of the main dish plus the cost of the side dish.
No, go the other way, Mira.
The cost of the side dish.
The cost of the side dish.
The
cost of the main
I
dish.
just say it backwards.
The cost of the main dish is equal to the side dish plus 450.
Absolutely. Or that's right. So again, remember, mute yourselves. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we can look at the same thing and everybody has their interpretation and nobody may be wrong. It is how you think. So I agree. The main dish is equal to the side dish plus 450. If we use the information from A, thank you, Shadi.
Yeah,
We know that the side dish is $3. That's right. We know. Okay. So again, all of you, we are looking at the same thing, and all of you are getting different interpretations. However, you all are correct. I'm with it. All right. Let's move to C. What does that mean?
Number.
is the number of side dishes times how much it costs is equal to $6. So that's 2 side dishes.
Okay. All right.
That'd be 2 side dishes because they $3 a piece, and they equal up to 6.
I ain't gonna lie.
So again,
I thought you had to divide.
why you going to divide, love?
Oh, I'm sure. I thought S was a number. No. I thought that said N6.
Zamir, did you just say you had to divide?
I'm tripping.
We ain't about to come in here and join my man.
Hold it.
Give me a break. You ain't been in school for a minute.
Mute yourselves. Zamir, you are correct that we would do a division, but if we do a division, what we gonna find?
Look at y'all smarty in, right?
What you gonna find, babe? Y'all be quiet so I can hear him. What you say, love?
No. I'm tripping. I thought it was N6.
No, you can do a division. My question to you is, if you do the division, what you gonna divide and what you gonna find? I ain't mad at you, love.
Can I answer
Can
the
somebody
question?
help him out?
Yeah, help me out.
6 divided by 3. Because that's 6 divided by the cost of the side dishes. That's how many dishes you're going to have.
Bam! Thank you. See, Zamir, you started it and Shamir picked it up. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if he divides, let's say he divides by the cost of the side dish, then he will find the number of side dishes they purchased. Absolutely. Go, y'all. All right, last one.
I'm gonna need that boy, Shamir. Yeah, him.
It's Shotty.
I'm gonna need your help, all right, bro? Because you know what you're talking about.
And the last one, even though they made it S, what does the last one? Give me a description. Tell me what that means. The last one, they called it S.
Is the cost of the main dish plus the how many side dishes it is times the cost of that is equal to the total cost of the meal altogether.
Absolutely. Anybody not get that? So he said M, which we know from up top is the main dish. So he said the cost of the main dish plus however many sides you get in times the cost of the side S is equal to the cost of the total meal. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, what they showed you here was what you have to remember as we move along. You have to tell people or identify what do your variables stand for, okay? Because then you can start working out the relationships. Okay, so now here we go with number 2. Using the same information. So using the information they gave us and what we just discussed from number 1. Write a new equation. Everybody click the chat and everybody send me one.
Wait, huh?
All right, you see the question. It's on my screen. On your screen.
True in this situation.
On your screen, you see the little chat because it's 20 responses sitting in there.
That's 23.
Huh?
I got 23.
You see the chats now on the side?
Yeah.
Okay. So Shamir just sent me one. Shamir, but they want you to use the variables. So you all are on number 2. Write a new equation that could be true in this situation. So again, you know from A that the main meal is $3.50. You know that the meal is equal to the cost of the side plus $3.50. You know that the number of sides times the cost of the sides is equal to 6.
No, wait, 2 sides. 2 sides is $3.
Okay, so use that information for what you can gain, and everybody send me one. I love you all. I love your chat on the side. And remember, mute yourself so we don't have to hear your familial business.
I don't think I got a multiplication joint on my phone.
Use the star over the 8 for multiplication. Or you can put it in parentheses, either or.
I'm so confused right now.
Why, Mira?
Because are we using what we just did to make an equation?
Yes.
All right.
You are on number 2. If you look at my screen, number 2, write a new equation that could be true in this situation. So again, using this information and this information, because this tells you about the relationships and what the variables stand for, you're going to send me an equation. Okay? Come on, person, mute yourself. Mute it. Thank you. All right, ready?
Hey,
We
Lisa,
ready
what's
to
up
move
with my
on?
equation?
Oh, okay.
You been with that, y'all?
Send me the equations. You know I know who's here.
I'm cracking up. I was just about to do that.
Okay, so let
I
me.
ain't gonna lie.
She reversed the question. I was about to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
All right. I have 15 of you. 1, 2, 3.
You might as well say 14 because I'm about to be.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sean, you better not play with me, boy. You better stay right there, even if you're just listening, because again, I am going to post the video from our class after this so that if you need to go back and look at something or hear something again, you will be able to do it.
So you telling me
If you
that
like, even though I shared this with you, you can throw that out and then you'll just have it in the actual lesson, in the actual class itself. So it's your choice. All right, so first half hour down, ladies and gentlemen. It's 11:09. It wasn't too bad, right?
Yo, Matic, I ask you a question.
Yes.
So like most of like the classes gonna be like this.
All of
Yeah.
All the classes gonna be like this.
Did you go to class yesterday?
I ain't go to class in a week.
Damn.
Well, we just started yesterday, darling.
Oh.
We just started this yesterday.
No, I didn't go to class. I didn't know how.
Oh, okay. So what you'll do after this is you will contact the teacher that you had yesterday and find out what the assignment was. Okay.
go to your Google Drive.
All
You go to
right,
your Google
so
Drive. All that
ladies
shit gonna
and
be right
gents,
there.
let's move on.
I did that.
All right, so everybody mute yourselves. It's my time. Mute. Somebody has something playing in the background. Mute yourselves.
You mute yourself and more.
Who is that with the TV on?
Emmanuel.
Man, mute yourself. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right, so now, again, remember, part of the models that we do are expressions versus equations. But we've talked about this before. So does anybody remember the difference between expressions and equations?
An expression is something that's not supposed to be solved. It could just be simplified. An equation you could solve for. You could solve for an equation.
How do you know? How do you know you can solve an equation? What does it have that an expression does not?
An equal sign.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Shawty, you smart. You was paying attention to class.
Mira. All right.
I just never went. Whenever I came, I paid attention now.
Do not have an equal sign.
That's that land.
Mute. Mute. Thank you. Somebody didn't mute. Remember the rules when you come late. One of the rules is if you are not contributing, please mute because we hear the background noise. Thank you.
We hear a little daddy daycare going on.
All right, so again, expressions do not have equal signs. So as Shadi said, here is an example. The example is 20% of H. Remember, we would then convert the percentage to a decimal. And at this level of our math, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we just put them together. Those things being next to each other at this stage, we should understand that that means whatever the value of H, we are going to multiply it by 20%. And with an equation, yes, there is an equal sign. So the example, the example of the product, thank you. The product of 6 and 3 is 18. We know that product implies multiplication. Therefore, we just put it again in parentheses. You will see it one of two ways. In the expression, they are just next to each other. But in the equation, the parentheses implies multiplication. So 6 times 3 is 18. Anybody who needs to write that down, write down the difference. Expressions do not have equal signs. Equations do. All right, so let's talk about equations.
Miss Hicks, every time I get finished writing one word, you skip it and go right to the next slide.
Tell me, baby, I'm sorry.
All right, hold up.
Come on, mute. Thank you.
All right, you can go.
Thank you. Everybody clear? Okay. So, equations, let's talk about it. Can an equation contain only numbers?
No.
You
Yes.
sure?
It's like no.
It can contain only numbers, it can contain only letters, and it can have a mixture of both of them.
So, it can only have numbers. There are 3 examples.
Like, okay,
And yes, yes, it can only have letters. And yes, it can also be mixed. Okay? So, those are all of the equations. And again, you all have seen these things. You may not think of them that way. You probably just call them all problems. But these are equations because they have an equal sign. Okay? So, anybody know what a constraint is?
There's limitations to the data boundaries.
He on Google. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it.
It's too quick for me to be Google.
Amira, he might know that. All right, so yes.
Come on. You know where he from?
I'm just a smart young man. That's all.
Listen.
Come on, Shotty.
Listen.
Smart young man.
Now he knows schoolwork. I'm not trying to hear
Ty,
that.
mute yourself. Mir, mute yourself. Because again, you all have all these background sounds, and you know I can see if you're muted or not. Thank you, Mir. Come on, Ty. Mute. Unless you're contributing, my love. Huh? Thank you. All right, so back to where we were. All right, so yes, constraints are limitations to the data or boundaries. So here are some examples. So if the description is grade in school and, and we call that thing G, because remember, when you use variables, you have to describe what information is being discussed. So if we are talking grade in school, the constraint would be G is less than or equal to 12. Okay? Because you can be from kindergarten to the 12th grade. Okay? So we have to include the 12, thus the equal. Capacity of an elevator, we are calling it C, because again, when you all start determining the variables for yourself, I find it easier to make it a letter that you can remember or you can have a direct connection to. So the capacity of a standard elevator, C, is equal to 2,500 pounds. I looked it up. Okay, so the maximum amount of weight that can be on an elevator, a standard elevator, is 2,500 pounds. And lastly, eyes of a spider. I am calling that E. Now, you'll see that that looks a little different from the other two because there are some spiders who only have 2 eyes, but there is not any spider that has more than 8. So there is a bottom as well as a top. Okay, so 2 is less than or equal to the number of eyes of a spider, which is less than or equal to 8. So again, they will have at least 2 eyes, but they will not have more than 8. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So again, a constraint is a limit. Like, when somebody constrains you, they hold you. Well, that's what constraints do in math. Sometimes they are necessary. All right. Let us look at. All right, constraints. Here we go. Let's try this. 2 students can register for Professor Robinson's class each day. So we call in the number of days D. And 12 students have pre-registered for the class. Registration is open for only 7 days. How many students are in the class? So the number of days is D. The total number of students in the class will be Y. So I'm gonna give you all a couple minutes.
2D plus 12
the
equals
word
Y.
problem into an equation and determine any constraints. It is 11:19. I am going to give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm gonna make sure I take roll while you all are doing it. So I have to go back.
Hey,
Here.
Lisa.
Yes.
2D plus 12
Wait,
equals
Miss
Y.
Hicks, what you just tell us to do? I was taking notes. My bad.
All right, wait a minute. I'm catching up on the roll. One second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. All right, I'm going to put up the word problem again, just to make sure. Wait, I'm doing the roll. I got Sean, got Shay, got Ty.
Don't see that.
I got Zamir. 1, 2. Okay. So here is the question or the problem. 2 students can register for Professor Robinson's class each day, and 12 students have pre-registered for the class. So that means they're already in the class. If the registration is open for 7 days, how many students are in the class? Okay, so what you are going to do is first create an equation that will help determine Y. So Y equals what?
2 students can register for Professor Robinson's class each day.
Hey, Lisa.
Yes.
2D plus 12 equals Y.
You think?
We're 7 at the 7 is the registration is open for 7 days. 7 days. So you still got to add the 7 in there somewhere.
All right. So now
students can register is less than the amount of days.
12 students want to pre-register.
Say it again.
12 students have pre-registered for the class. Registration is open for 7 days a week. So,
Zero is less than the number of days, which is less than or equal to 7.
Listen, I don't remember none of this. I forgot about school.
Well, please come back.
What is this?
Make it how you make yours. Fucking up.
Listen, once they said it was no more school, I got high.
First of all, that is not the conversation to be having because this is being recorded. So that is now on our class. So if your parents listen to this, you busted. I told y'all relevant conversation.
Oh, she knows.
You might have missed that piece. Relevant conversation. I told you all that this was going to be recorded, and I told you to watch your mouth. So now your parents know
I told you I was going to forget. Listen, I'm halfway up. Okay, I'm halfway. I'm getting there.
All right, so I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. And then we're going to entertain what he said. But again, remember, this is about constraints. So again, your constraint, is there any limitations? Are there any limitations listed in the problem?
Hey, Lisa, I sent my answer in the chat.
Okay.
I did too. Me and Shotty got the same answer.
No, you did. It's silly.
Me and Shotty got the same answer. You feel me?
No smart minds think alike.
Yeah, I was thinking of the exact same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're wonderful.
Sorry, hold on, man. Son.
You are wonderful. I love you.
Yeah, I was thinking our mirror answer too.
Oh, wait, you got a comment and answer?
All right, you silly. You silly. Talk about 26. Okay, all right. Kayana came with an answer. Amir came with an answer. Yep. All right.
My sister gave me the answer.
All right. So wait a minute. Okay, I see you. All right. So now let me go back here for a second. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, because we're gonna have a little bit of discussion in a minute. All right. So, bam. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Amira,
right.
you were, and Amira, you were correct. 7 plays a part. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you only have 7 days, so that is the constraint. So either no days or up to 7 days. So if nobody comes, then the number of days is 0. He's only going to have the 12 students. But if somebody comes all 7 days, then yes, he will have the 26 students that most of you came up with. But this answers the question. It said, translate the word problem into an equation. So you did 2 students per day added to the 12 students who pre-registered. So these 12 are already in the class. Okay. And then it all will total the number of people in the class. But again, the number of days is what, I don't know how to move this out the way.
I like your answer too, Hicks.
Thank you, Sean. All right.
Answer was the same thing first.
The constraints are on the number of days. You have between 0 days or no days, nobody comes. Nobody else wants to take his class during registration period. But he could get students up to and including all 7 days. Okay? All right, so now, bam. Come on. All right, so here's your assignment. Everybody better write it down.
Whoa, what? You said what?
Miss Hicks.
Look on the screen. Look on the screen. We are going to
my favorite teacher, right?
First of all, stop complaining and write down your assignments.
You know, math is my favorite subject, but what the heck?
Mira, we gonna look at it. Relax, y'all. Relax. It's not that bad, really. So remember, I only meet you. Listen up. Shh. Mute yourselves. Mute. Thank you. I only meet you all on Tuesdays. If we were in school for our standard time, of course, this will be 2 weeks of work. But again, I only meet you once a week. So that means we are going to meet 9 times. Okay? So please
write got 9 times to get this complete.
Write this down. And then we are going to look at each of the assignments. We will discuss them if you all feel they need to be discussed. And you know the cool downs, you just like we were in class, you do them and you submit them to me. I will look at them and red, yellow, green. But the exercise,
yellow, blue.
the exercise that I will be able to see if you did it, and I will mark or incomplete. Somebody needs to mute.
Just gonna do what I say.
Sean.
Listen.
Who said my name?
I'm gonna need you all.
Yo, chill out all that.
I'm gonna need you all to get it together. Thank you. All right, so now you see the assignments, and I am going to again share my screen with you all. All right, so let's look at the first cool down. And again, you all, I'm gonna do this in a window.
Why you say it like that?
No, I don't like it that way. No, cancel that. I'm gonna do it on the screen. What window?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I say window. Crazy.
Come here.
All right. So
what school down you talking?
I'm getting ready to show you, love. All right, so here we are. Yep, cool down one, Ty. Yes, absolutely. All righty.
He was on Summit, right?
Yes.
No, ice cream park.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
food.
Yeah.
here's the Sean. Mute. All right, so here.
I was talking to you.
What did you say, dear?
You keep making everything about food.
I'm comfortable with my
That's what the unit is, Sean. I apologize. That's the unit. All right, so here we go. The first cool down.
I got a mask. Who we can see him?
You got to mute, love. Thank you. So, first cool down. As a reward for achieving their goal, all students in the 9th grade are invited to an ice cream party. So, your first task, write an expression that could represent an estimated cost for the party. Use at least one letter. State what each part of the expression means. So again, you are going to write an expression. Now, of course, you are going to have to. What do you think you're going to do about the number of students in the 9th grade? How are you going to figure that out?
Number 6, I had to log into your class.
You logged into my class now.
No, I'm saying like a comment.
I just wrote all these notes down when I got them.
No, I'm showing you this. But yes, you will do the assignments on Summit. But we are looking at it as a collective. In the event you have questions.
No, I'm saying though, do I need to go log into your class on Summit?
Not right now, no. But yeah, no, I'm showing it to you. Okay, so.
But how are you going to?
You can't find a number of how many graders there is.
What do you mean you can't? What would you do when you don't really know? You do what?
There'll be X.
You can, but
all right. So yes, it can be X, but Ty, let's go with your train of thought. So what would you do?
I'm still fried. Still eggs.
I'm crying.
So when you don't know, if I looked in the classroom and I don't know how many people, but I need to come up with a number, what would I do?
You gonna guess to me?
A variable.
No, right? Either or. Sean, yes. You would either estimate the number of 9th graders, or yes, the number of 9th graders is what will vary. You understand? So again, I'm gonna need y'all to think. I'm gonna need you to think. And remember, you all can get together after this and talk to each other. You know, you don't have to do it in isolation, but you know everybody must turn in their own assignment. Okay? So the second one says, choose a letter in your expression.
So like the average 9th grade class is 27 students.
Here is where the constraint comes in. So in number 1, you're going to write the expression. In number 2, you are going to choose one of those things and you are going to put constraints on it. Okay, so you planning a party. Some of you've planned parties before. Amira, you planned a party. So think about the things.
Right.
Dang, I'm not the only person that threw a party.
But what I'm saying is, I know, Mira, listen, I'm not telling your business. I'm just merely using you as an example.
No, but you should make breakfast.
All right, so Amira, mute yourself, whoever you talking to, because I'm not cooking you breakfast.
I called my mom. My fault.
Thank you. So let's go back. So again, Amira, you have planned a party. So think about the things that you put constraints on. Did you say that you were only willing to pay X amount of dollars for the DJ, or X amount of dollars for the food, or you were only expecting X amount of people? Those are the things that you take into consideration when you're planning a party. Yes or no? So you all are planning an ice cream party for 9th grade. Again, first, you are going to
food stamps.
First, you're going to write the expression, and then 2, you are going to choose one of those variables to put constraints on. So that is the first one. After that, ladies and gentlemen,
12 o'clock need to hit quick.
it's 11:30.
Miss Hicks, you know you're the first class that actually went all the way till 12.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Well, but if you all,
yesterday we ended at 11:30.
All right, listen.
Oh, right, yo,
I'm just showing you, so you don't say Hicks didn't explain. All right, so here.
Talking about the other classes.
This is
recording.
This is that's right, because you know my principal gonna hear this.
He blasted music in the background talking about other classes.
Pull it back and mute yourself so we can get through this. So now, here is the first exercise set. Ladies and gentlemen, when you do this, I want you to highlight whatever is your answer.
Which one is that? That's the second part?
This is the exercise set. So first I just showed you what the cool down was, the first cool down. This is the first exercise set.
Oh, the planning a pizza party.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So again, when you choose your answers, you highlight for number 1. Okay. Number 1, you're going to highlight the answer. But for number 2, you are going to write either or. You can write the numbers next to the letter. So if you think this is 5 and this is 2 and this is 3, you can do that. Or you can put the letters down here. So this is B, this is E. Okay? Either or. But when I look at it, I mark it either complete or incomplete. Okay? Those are the first 2. Now, again, I only meet you one day. So for the second day, bam, here is your all right, so here is the cool down. This is the second cool down. Again, they give you a situation. They talk to you about t-shirts. A school choir needs to make t-shirts for its 75 members and has set aside some money in their budget to pay for them. The members of the choir decided to order from a printing company that charges $3 per shirt plus a $50 fee for each color to be printed on the shirts.
Can I work there?
Same thing. Same thing. In the first one, you are going to write an equation that represents the relationship between the number of t-shirts ordered, the color of shirts, the number of colors on the shirts, and the total cost of the shirts. Again, if you use variables, you have to specify what they represent. And then in number 2, again, same thing. In this situation, which quantities may vary? and which ones might be fixed. So which numbers are constant? That number is going to stay regardless. And then which numbers are going to change? That is your cool down 2. And lastly, your second set of problems is here. Same concept. You are creating equations and expressions given a situation. So the first one, you're going to write an equation, and they told you what the variables represent. In number 2, you are going to select all of the equations that could possibly represent the situation and the constraints listed in number 2. And then for number 3, same thing. Which equation represents that situation? And number 4, you have to answer some questions. Now look at 5. That's taking us back to last term. I told you math is cyclical. So you might need to look up some information, and that's okay. To do number 5 and number 6, they take a step back. So again, the second set has 9 problems. But again, you all can get together. I'm not saying that you can't. You all can get together and work as teams, work as groups, whatever the case.
Because that's my teammate.
But y'all know the catch, though. Y'all know the catch.
But everybody has to turn in their own stuff.
And if I got the same, y'all
it is 11:40. If you have no questions, or you don't have a question that you would like the class to see, then you can definitely email me personally or Hangouts. Remember, I have office hours today from 1 to 3. We can do them visually or audio, whichever you prefer. And that's about all that I have. Does anybody have any questions for me now?
The office hours, they is about this though. Like I meant, like, is it going to be like this?
The office hours, yes. Well, they can be however you decide. They can be like this. They can be text messages, or they can be emails, whichever is best for you.
So the office hours is about what we did today.
It can be, but for you, since you're graduating, it might be that, and then it might.
God, he finally graduated.
Bro, don't say it like that. Like I was.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a good thing. I'm saying that as a good thing.
So Zai, it could be about this.
Like, I've been in this joint for a decade.
Like if I need to tell you something about graduation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that is all and nobody has any questions, you all have a great day. Christina, I'm gonna text you personally.
This coffee good.
Okay, oh, you drinking coffee? Me too.
I needed to wake up.
All right, any questions, comments, concerns?
Yo, what we supposed to be doing? Playing right. Go to pocket shoes.
Mom's school. What we supposed to be doing? Okay. You all done?
Yeah. Now what we supposed to be doing though?
Emmanuel, class is over.
Oh, right.
Class over?
Yes.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to stop the record so you all don't keep talking because it will keep recording.
Emmanuel left.
All right. So